You are listening to In Conversation with Jennie and Mark.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am the Reverend Jennie Adams from Holy Trinity Church, Prince Consort Road, South Kensington.
I am the Reverend Mark Adams from St Margaret's Church, Barking.
And hello.
This is In Conversation with Jennie and Mark. We're back. We had a week off and now we're back. But we've agreed not to waffle. So there's no waffling today, Jennie.
No waffling. It's a long reading. Let's get on with
it.
It's
a long reading, yeah, but it's a good one. So let's crack on with it.
Yeah, for the third Sunday in Lent, we've got John 4, 5 to 42.
So if you're sitting comfortably, then we'll begin. But Jesus had to go through Samaria. So he came to a Samaritan city called Sychar, near the plot of ground that Jacob had given to his son Joseph. Jacob's well was there, and Jesus, tired out by his journey, was sitting by the well. It was about noon. A Samaritan woman came to draw water, and Jesus said to her, "Give me a drink." His disciples had gone to the city to buy food. The Samaritan woman said to him, "How is it that you, a Jew, ask a drink of me, a woman of Samaria? Jews do not share things in common with Samaritans." Jesus answered her, "If you knew the gift of God and who it is that is saying to you, 'Give me a drink,' you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water." The woman said to him, "Sir, you have no bucket, and the well is deep. Where do you get that living water? Are you greater than our ancestor Jacob, who gave us the well, and with his sons and his flocks drank from it?" Jesus said to her, "Everyone who drinks of this water will be thirsty again. But those who drink the water that I will give them will never be thirsty. The water that I will give will become in them a spring of water gushing up to eternal life." The woman said to him, "Sir, give me this water so that I may never be thirsty or have to keep coming here to draw water." Jesus said to her, "Go, call your husband and come back." The woman answered him, "I have no husband." Jesus said to her, "You are right in saying, 'I have no husband.' For you have had 5 husbands, and the one you have now is not your husband. What you have said is true." The woman said to him, "Sir, I see that you are a prophet. Our ancestors worshipped on this mountain, but you say that the place where people must worship is in Jerusalem." Jesus said to her, "Woman, believe me, the hour is coming when you will worship the Father neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem. You worship what you do not know. We worship what we know, for salvation is from the Jews. But the hour is coming, and now is here, when the true worshippers will worship the Father in spirit and truth. For the Father seeks such as these to worship him. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship in spirit and truth." The woman said to him, "I know that the Messiah is coming, who is called Christ. When he comes, he will proclaim all things to us." Jesus said to her, "I am he, the one who is speaking to you." Do you want to carry on and read a bit more?
Okay. Just then his disciples came. They were astonished that he was speaking with a woman, but no one said, "What do you want?" or "Why are you speaking with her?" Then the woman left her water jar and went back to the city. She said to the people, "Come and see a man who told me everything I have ever done. He cannot be the Messiah, can he?" They left the city and were on their way to him. Meanwhile, the disciples were urging him, "Rabbi, eat something." But he said to them, "I have food to eat that you do not know about." So the disciples said to one another, "Surely no one's brought him something to eat." And Jesus said to them, "My food is to do the will of him who sent me and to complete his work. Do you not say food is 4 months more and then comes the harvest? But I tell you, look around you and see how the fields are ripe for harvesting. The reaper is already receiving wages and is gathering fruit for eternal life, so that the sower and reaper may rejoice together. For here the saying holds true: one sows and another reaps. I sent you to reap that for which you did not labor. Others have labored, and you have entered into their labor." Many Samaritans from the city believed him because of the woman's testimony. He told them everything I have ever done. So when the Samaritans came to him, they asked him to stay with them, and he stayed there 2 days. And many more believed because of his word. And they said to the woman, "It is no longer because of what you said that we believe. We have heard for ourselves, and we know that this is truly the Saviour of the world." Right. It's quite long.
It is quite long, yes. It's a great story. It is. It's just a brilliant.
So before we started,
in a way, isn't it? It's a brilliant human story.
Okay. So before you started, we were discussing whether to miss out verses 31 to 38, weren't we?
Yes, we were discussing that. Yes.
And I think probably on Sunday I might do that. I might miss them out. I didn't
Yes.
want to do it here 'cause I think it ties into something that I found in many ways. And that is the woman in the well is the same but opposite to Nicodemus. So it has the same kind of, so they meet and that kind of misinterpreting what Jesus is saying happens to Nicodemus, and it happens to this woman here, but it also happens to the disciples when he's talking about food to eat as well.
Yes. Okay.
So I just thought, because I have no idea where I'm going with this on Sunday, wanted to keep it in today because I thought if I end up picking up on that, then I would include the verses 31 to 38.
Okay.
But I was read because I've done some reading beforehand that obviously Nicodemus was well thought of. He was a Pharisee, and we now got the opposite. We've got the Samaritan woman. We don't talk to Samaritans, even though they seem to be in Samaria. She would have been of low standing. Well, she is a low standing. She's a woman. And Nicodemus, but they still have the same encounter where they misinterpret Jesus, and so do disciples. I should say at this point that I don't find Jesus at his most likable.
Oh, okay. Right. Controversial statement from Jenny.
Well, I'm putting it mildly. Yeah. It
Okay.
just want to say, just say what you mean. And I know it's a cultural thing and they like storytelling and they like to play on words, but just say what you're talking about because everyone's confused.
So what is it you don't like about Jesus's approach here?
I want him to just be more straightforward. I just think everyone's confused about what he's talking about all the time. Just how is this helping?
So which bits particularly do you find that he's being a bit...
Oh, I thought it last week with the born again, but now like with the I've got food, and I haven't got food, I've got food. What's he talking? I mean, he was saying what he's talking about. Who's bought him some food? We went to get him some food. Now he's saying he's got some food. And then like messing with the woman at the well. Look, do you want some water, man, or not?
Okay, well, if I was trying to...
If he met me at the well, he would be not getting any water.
It's an interesting take from Jenny here. Isn't Jesus encouraging us to think for ourselves?
Yeah, absolutely. He is, and it's also part of how the culture of the time as well. But I'm just saying that I don't find him at his most likable.
Okay, fair enough. Just find him a bit irritating.
And if I'd been at the well, he wouldn't have got any water.
Does he ever actually get any water?
That is a good question. I mean,
He
he's got all his living water. He doesn't need any water. Not putting all that effort into it. The man says he's got.
I'm not sure he ever gets any water. Okay, obviously, the background to this is the historic enmity between the Jews and the Samaritans, isn't it? He's in Samaria. He's gathering through his. There's loads of different things I've heard talked about with this passage. His disciples have gone off, and this woman is only out there drawing water at lunchtime because she's ostracized from her community, presumably because she's.
Yeah, I don't buy into that.
You don't think that's right? Go on.
No, I think evidence shows that that's not right.
Okay.
Because she goes to a community, says these words, and they immediately want to know what she's talking about. So she doesn't sound like someone that's ostracized from her community, does she?
No, well, unless she's so overwhelmed by meeting with Jesus that's sort of put to one side. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I was thinking more their reaction.
True. Yes. Okay, so, but nonetheless, there are some, as you've already said, there's an interesting comparison with Nicodemus. This is sort of the other end of the social spectrum of the day. We're in Samaria and she's a woman, whereas Nicodemus is a learned teacher of the law and a man in Jerusalem. She's a Samaritan. But I think it's interesting, isn't it, that Jesus, the reading I was doing around it is very much all around. There is an inclusiveness here and in one sense that John is seeking to explain why there is a community of Christian believers in his time in Samaria, and that this is a kind of look back to the establishment of that, actually establishing it right back into Jesus' ministry, not just post-resurrection or early days of the church.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there is an interesting inclusive message here, isn't there, around, this woman shouldn't be included, but she is.
Yeah. Have you read the bit about the meet cute?
No.
Okay. So I've actually still got this up on my screen. Saying that you know what a meet cute is? Do I need to
No.
explain meet cute? Okay, a meet cute in a rom-com or any kind of romantic book is the moment the main characters meet.
Oh, okay. Right.
Okay, so it's like, over the water cooler or just generally, you know when you watch a cheesy rom-com, you see the two people that hate each other meet and you kind of go, oh, they're going to get together. That's the
Yes.
meet cute. Okay.
Okay.
And so I read was that the well is a recognized meet cute, a recognized place in storytelling, but also in history where people got together. And of course I've got it on my screen because I wouldn't have remembered all these. So we've got I haven't got them all.
Okay.
Oh, after all that, I haven't got them all. But there's Abraham's grandson. So there's Jacob meets Rachel at the well at noon.
Yes.
Moses meets his wife at a well.
Yes.
I thought I'd got the bit where I'd got a whole list of them. There's something about Noah meets somebody at a well.
Okay. So wells are in the scriptures then. Wells are kind of significant places. Yeah.
But actually, within the storytelling, because it goes further back than historical. It's also in the storytelling culture. So this is almost setting up a story of Jesus is going to meet a woman and then turns it round at the last minute. So the kind
Turns
of
around to what?
so the to and fro would be a very similar thing that they would hear in the stories as well. Wow, turns it round because Jesus is the bridegroom, but not the one they think. It is yes, but that is kind of where I was heading with it. What turns it round to what though? But I mean it's still there. People met at wells and got married and generally got married.
Okay, so what are we saying here then? Obviously, we're not saying that Jesus and this woman get married. We know that's not what happens, but
I don't know. Let me have a
there's
quick
any
read.
particular kind of reference to her again?
No, definitely no, not at all. I think it's more a case of he was setting the story up for them to expect it to go one way and then turn it around. It was more of a storytelling lesson.
Okay, but where does it go then? I mean, is this about an inclusion of the Samaritans within the gospel narrative, or reaching over the boundary? Or
I think it is reaching over the boundaries. I don't think we can. Well, I don't think I would draw too much on the fact that she is a woman at the well and what he told her. But I mean, they are in Samaria, and it was well known, wasn't it, that we don't go to Samaria, even though they believed
of course,
similar things.
John makes the point, doesn't he? Jews do not share things in common with Samaritans. It's in the text.
No, we don't like them.
We don't like each other. Yeah.
What do you think about? Reason.
Sorry?
For no apparent reason.
Well, there are historical reasons that you can look into to do with actually what's talked about in this passage, that that one will worship in the temple in Jerusalem, and we've got an alternative one, or we had an alternative one that's been destroyed. So yeah, there are good historical reasons why they don't like each other. Okay. But Jesus, in as well sense, invites us to transcend that, isn't it? Because he says, actually, it's not about worshipping in the temple of Jerusalem or worshipping on the mountain here, because actually we must worship in spirit and in truth. What do you understand that to mean?
I saw you'd highlighted that. on your reading.
Yeah, I don't remember when I highlighted it. I noticed I
Oh,
highlighted
okay.
it as well. I can't remember. I didn't highlight it this morning.
Well, no, I was more interested. Actually, highlighted God is spirit,
Yes, I
and
don't quite know why I highlighted that. I noticed that
well,
I
probably because
highlighted
as I was reading it, I thought God is spirit. I was questioning that too. God is spirit. Um, don't
So
know.
what is
You tell
Jesus saying
me.
here about our worship? It's
Don't
not.
ask me. You've obviously got something in your head. What do you want to
I
say
haven't
about
because I
it?
can't remember why I highlighted it. I
Okay.
mean, I suppose what I'm sort of seeing here is that the Jesus transcends the division between the Jews and the Samaritans, and there's a and in that, of course, they can find. How does he do that? He does that because he says it's not about whether you worship there or here. It's about who you worship, how you worship, um,
Who you worship,
who
perhaps.
you worship. Well, they
Because
all.
otherwise it would be how you worship. Am I right?
Well, in one sense, what does it mean to worship in spirit and in truth? That's a how you worship question, isn't it?
So what does it mean? Shall we just finish a sermon on Sunday, just going, well, so what does that mean to you? And then walk off.
Well, I mean, it's a little bit of a cop out, but yeah, I think I think it's one of those things that we think about, or we sort of can. What does it mean to say that? Because we
So,
do,
okay, so
we're
in truth,
incarnated, so we have to have a form of worship, don't we? But it's I suppose it's what's standing behind that. I mean, one of the things I've always felt was, in one sense, the form of worship, that doesn't matter whether, I know Holy Trinity is a prayer book church. Some churches are charismatic, some churches are orthodox. We have incense, we have, all these things are forms of worship, and they all matter, and they can all help. But we so easily fall out over them, don't we? We so
okay.
easily fall out over
And
them.
none
But
of that,
one
yeah.
is looking for what's behind that.
So, yeah, I mean, in truth is easier to do, isn't it? So, in truth is honestly, as long as
Yes.
you're worshipping honestly and it's not for show, is it? That's like, I mean, I often
Oh,
say you
that's
can come to God just as you are, exactly as you are. There's no point in lying. He already knows every hair on your head. You might as well just come as you are.
I suppose there's that thing about we have we have a spirit. We are spirit. We talk about ourselves being spiritual beings, don't we? We're more than just flesh and blood. There's something as Christians so we've got to engage that part of ourselves, that spiritual element to who we are, in order to bring that to the worship of God. Is that where we're at?
Yeah, I think so. I'm just kind of struggling to understand how you could worship not in spirit. It's one of those, because surely that wouldn't be worship.
Um, well, I suppose in one sense that's what Jesus is saying. The true worshippers will worship the Father in spirit and truth. So yeah,
Oh,
there is.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
okay. So
Fair
that
enough.
there is a
Because
kind of.
like you don't always feel it, but I mean, if you're worshipping, you are worshipping in spirit, aren't you?
Yes.
Otherwise,
Well,
not
but then
worshipping, surely.
yeah, but I suppose there can be an outward form of worship without that inward dimension, which would then, well, I suppose, in these terms, would make you not a true worshipper. So we're in a little bit of a circular argument here.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So a little bit, oh, this is controversial. I don't know if I should even say it.
Oh, go for it.
Okay, so in a Church of England school,
Yeah,
you have to sign up to having some sympathy with the Church of England faith, yes?
yeah.
Don't actually have to be a Christian. You
No.
just have to be. Okay. But they do lead Christian worship in the
Okay.
school. And
Okay.
there's a little bit of me that kind of thinks, what are we doing here? Because if you don't believe it, but you have sympathy with it, how are you leading worship? Are you actually just saying the words that are in the book
What you
that were
mean if
given
you're
to you?
somebody leading that worship, or as opposed to the children who are maybe being invited to
Well,
participate in it? Or what do you mean?
maybe so, but I was more thinking, because I've come across it in the past, of the people leading the worship. It's like, can you lead worship if you don't believe it?
Well, and I don't. Well, no.
It's like...
Well, on one level, surely the answer to that question is no. But we shouldn't, therefore. But that doesn't mean to say I don't want to sound that as a condemnatory thing of people who are seeking to do the best they can, or
No, and that's why I
we can
said it
make
was kind
sense
of
of it, and,
controversial, because also I don't
But
I
the
wasn't I wasn't really sure that you couldn't actually. Because if you're
well,
saying the words and somebody else is worshipping with those words, then actually
look, we're all mixed motives, right? I mean, look, it's kind of it's belief a kind of totally binary thing in that sense. I mean, we were talking about the Apostles' Creed at confirmation class last week, and we believe this, and I do believe it. But there are moments where I think, really.
Oh, but that's worshipping in spirit and truth.
Okay, but therefore, can somebody, who, in one sense, who are we to judge? There's a judgment call that we're perhaps making
well,
there.
I am me to judge, but I was simply trying to find, right, okay, we're going off topic, because I was simply
we are a
trying to
little
find an example of how you might not do. Okay, spirit and truth. We should worship in that. We're good with that.
Yeah, and the call is for us as faithful Christians who are seeking to live in that way to what are we seeking to do? We're seeking to activate that spiritual part of ourselves when we come in worship, and we are seeking to worship honestly, truthfully, with integrity, I think. And yes, and I think it's very much about seeing, and if we get hung up on the forms of the worship, then we are in danger of idolatry, really, which is again a strong word, but actually is a So I know this is something you've come across, and again, controversial moment coming up. When I produced in a previous church booklets with the prayer book liturgy in it, I was told that wasn't acceptable because we had to actually have prayer books.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, that's no. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's that's not where we're at here. I mean, that's a slightly flippant example.
I know people that will have their prayer book with the service booklet I produce.
On one level that's fine, but don't say that we've got to. There are reasons why we're doing. I don't know. It doesn't.
Yeah. It's horses for courses.
Yeah, and you can apply that, to be fair, into any kind of. We must have a guitar, or we must have an organ, or we must have a. Jesus is. We don't work. It matters. It's what's going on behind the worship which matters, and I think we can all lose sight of that in our own ways.
I think the prayer book's an interesting one, because like with a guitar and everything else, you don't have to have incredibly good eyesight, do you? It's like
anything else to say about this woman? I mean, she's a really interesting character, isn't she? I think Jesus. She's she's certainly got this story about having 5 husbands, and the one she's
so I've often heard her preached as a fallen woman, but actually, I mean, the questions on the rights of women, I always think are a little bit inconclusive, or the answers are inconclusive. Because one minute we say women have no rights, and then you suddenly find a woman in the Bible that seems to be leading everything. So it's a little bit... And I'm guessing it's because in different areas women had different rights, in the same way as across the world women have different rights now. But it's quite difficult. But I don't really believe she was ostracized.
Okay.
So it is quite possible that she was just a woman of great tragedy. She had husbands that died, or husbands that divorced her.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are many reasons why she might have had 5 husbands. It does not necessarily because she's off sleeping with everybody in the world.
No, but
of her own volition.
it is interesting that Jesus seems to be remarkably unconcerned about all of that, though.
Yeah, he's just saying it. He's just telling her what he
He
knows.
doesn't.
It's not.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I have to say the phrase "the man you're with now is not your husband," I suppose is the key thing. But again, did she have the right to make any changes, or was she just being used and abused? But
Yeah.
what? But I mean, even if she was being used and abused, she would still have been ostracized, and that doesn't seem to be the case.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we
So do
no
you take
longer.
anything out of this passage in those sort of question then about what's going on with her relationships and how Jesus responds to her?
Well, only in as much as I don't think we should make too much of it. I think he
Yeah.
was
Okay.
literally stating facts.
Yes. Yes.
And there were facts that everybody would have known as well. I do take that from it. When she said, "Come," he's told me everything I would have done. That is the most unremarkable bit of evangelism because everybody will have known what's happened to her. And yet they all came
I mean,
to sit, have a look.
why would a wandering preacher have known what was happening to him?
No, he wouldn't, would he? But yeah, but you know, it's not. I don't know. I just think, well, he might have done because everybody would have known her. It's like I don't think it would have been
Okay.
top secret.
We
But
said we weren't going to waffle, so although it's a long passage, I just love the ending. Isn't it? There is a great ending to this about basically they turn around to her and go, "Yeah, thanks for telling us about Jesus, but we've met him ourselves now, so we don't need to know what you're saying anymore." I
we're
mean,
not
that's
believing because of you. We're believing because of us.
but thanks for but I mean, actually, isn't that what we all want to be able to do as Christians in terms of sharing our faith? It's not about us, is it?
It's not about us, and it is how we all end up in the end. But it is said rather bluntly, isn't it?
Yes, I mean. So I'm preaching on this on Sunday. Are you preaching on Sunday?
Yes.
So
Yeah,
what's your takeaway from our discussion?
Yeah, I'm still not quite sure, to be honest. Where are you going with it?
I think I might well develop what does it mean to worship in spirit and in truth? To try and get behind some of those historical things that are being addressed here, and to a call for us to worship as a church to get it in that way.
Yeah, I think that's probably.
And for us, in one sense,
I
in this
need to be
Lent,
more pastoral in my preaching, so I might do something about inclusiveness and the
in
woman.
Lent, yeah, I mean, there's an inclusive message here. I think in Lent we have to examine ourselves, and allow God to challenge us as to whether we are worshipping in spirit and in truth, and that's what really matters, rather than judging other people as to how they may or may not worship, or may not be included. I think that's where I'll go for it out of this discussion.
Okay. I mean, I think I will do. What will I do with it? Do you know what? I still don't know. I still don't know. Sorry, everyone.
Okay, well, you'll have to turn up at Holy Trinity on Sunday to find out what Jenny's going to do with it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening, everybody.
Thank you all. We'll be back next week.
Next week.
Take care.
Okay. Take care then.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to In Conversation with Jennie and Mark. Please subscribe for more episodes on all the usual podcast platforms.